Well, good morning. It's still morning, barely, but still morning, so I can still get that. It's 11:51 here in Honolulu, Hawaii. So I'm gonna do a brunch, little steak and eggs action. Forget the exact recipe. I took it out of one of Gordon Ramsay's cookbooks a long time ago. What's up, Angela? Um, but basically, make kind of like a base, tomatoes, and some other bullshit. Put a couple eggs in them, baste them in that. And then I'm gonna make a steak. So, what's going on, Daenerys? How you doing? Well, Dan, that's a nighttime video. That's more of a dinner activity than a brunch, but it's possible. I want to roll it out. What's up, Ace? Just to give you a little preview, we got a steak and we got some eggs, all right? You're going to have to be more specific, Daenerys. Are you talking about the driving range the other night? It was good, It's not going to turn into anything romantic, I don't think, but it was nice to have somebody to go smash balls with. Does that answer the question, Daenerys? I don't know. Yeah, it was good. We'll see. We got to ride it out, see what happens. You never know. Points for being persistent. Yeah. All right. What do we got going on here? Fine. What do you think? I think it's late enough in the day for a good eye opener. Once again, Bryce, which hike? Hold on, I gotta go prop the door open so the dogs can run in and out. Yeah, the hike was good. I haven't had a bad hike in quite a while. Yeah. So let's prepare the battle space here. Let's cut a wheel for the garnish. It's good for nothing but garnish. Get in there, soldier. Elfin. Promise. Oh, that's very nice of you, Harris. Now, let's go ahead. This is going to be kind of like a cranberry lemonade situation, or riffed off of Tom Collins. So let's go ahead and squeeze a whole lemon in there because I need that citrus. I need a little bit of an eye opener this morning, to be honest. Squirter. I'm getting ready to go on a long hike right now, so I gotta be hydrated, you know? So, make it a double, yeah. Gotta hit some sweetener in there, so we're gonna use simple syrup. Not a ton. And then we'll give it a little bit of cranberry juice in there with it. Couple nice big chunks of ice in there. Good shake, get it nice and cold. Yep. What do y'all think? Cheers, Danny. This one's to you. Yeah. So with that being done, cocktails prep for prep work. Put the ice back in the freezer and we'll get started. This will be quick-ish once we start moving here. Ooh, how would you describe this carrot? But, so we'll take our chode here, cut off the end there, and then what we're going to do, we're going to put a box grater on a paper plate. This will keep it contained, and we're just going to run it up and down. Alright, that's one carrot. That's going to be more than we want, but it's better to have too much than too little. So set that off to the side. And what do we got next? Just a general sweet onion. This will work. White onion, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, I think any type of onion would work for this application. Make sure to get the peppery skin up. What's up, Monty? Steak and eggs, baby. Steak and eggs. Now, the people want to know if you're the full Monty, though. Are you packing? Are you going to deploy that python on us? We'll quickly dice our onion. Yes, this knife needs to be sharpened. It'll happen one of these days. hold the onion tight. It's gonna be plenty of onion. This is gonna be way more than I need. Oh, so you're a eunuch. Or you're into hanging up flags of random colors that we don't know about. That's cool too. This one's to you, Monty. Brings up Game of Thrones though. Like, what an asshole the eunuch in there was. You know, what did the, I don't know, the Keeper of Secrets, the Whisperer, the Spy guy, like, what did he actually do? Did he do anything good for anybody? I think he ended up getting killed off, though. Set that off to the side. Alright, we got 2 serranos here. Actually, we're going to use the girthy serrano and then the Fresno pepper here. Is that a weird sex endo-Desiree? But welcome, New Zealand. Yeah, varies. That's the one. Maybe he wasn't that bad of a guy. Maybe I'm being too hard on him. I mean, he had no balls after all. So, but then again, Daenerys doesn't have any balls either. So I don't think that's a mitigating factor. And Daenerys is cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Daenerys in Game of Thrones, one of the hottest TV characters ever. Huge crush. Not quite as big of a crush, though, as Meadow Soprano. She was super hot, and not like... I think Meadow kind of had a little bit of the girl next door vibe going for her, but she was super hot. Scene in college where, that dude took her big hard, that hurt me. Alright, if I got leftovers, I got leftovers, alright? Probably need half the, about that much of onion. About half the carrot here. Oh my god, yeah. And Jon Snow stabbed his queen in multiple ways. Alright. Oh, hell yeah. God. Flies are bad here in Hawaii, I would shag you, Danny. Yeah, oh, no, I'm talking about Daenerys from Game of Thrones, Yeah, after shagging. He stabbed her before. He stabbed her during and after. And I guess, I don't know if he caught it, but stabbing was a sexual innuendo. But yeah, that was kind of a dick move, but I guess it's probably better that he shagged her before running her through. No, that could be another innuendo versus, shagging her after he penetrated her body with his shaft. that was as hard as steel because it was a steel shaft. Yeah. Let's let that pan heat up. We're using the big boy. It's gonna be good. Oh! Well, we got one more vegetable that we need to chop. Make it flat. What's going on, Dom15? How you doing? And Big Sausage from Canada joins, you know. Is your sausage still as big after all these tariffs? Well, Cameron, your wiener was so small your parents couldn't decide if you were a boy or a girl, so they picked a name that could go either way. So I do imagine you're a sexual deviant. Turn the heat down once it heats up. Oh, no shit, because your name's Cameron, so you never get any ass. Yeah, Joe Montana, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Alright, so we got that going. Get my oil going. Gotta lube this pan up like it's a Diddy party. Olive oil in, good amount. And it goes. Carrot's gonna take a long time to cook, so let's go ahead, throw some carrot in there. Not a long time, but the longest. Start a little bit of salt. If you use a little bit early, you end up using less. Oh, yeah. And Patrick from New Zealand has arrived. How you doing, buddy? Put the vegetable medley in there. We're going to keep an eye on it. We're going to try to cook a little bit higher heat. We'll let the hard vegetables cook down a little bit. And then we're going to add all our seasoning in. The salt. That's it for now. We'll add more later. Mix it all in there. So the serrano peppers and the Fresno peppers, it's going to give it plenty of spice there. So you got to worry about flavor though here. Move that up. Tomato juice on my wood, you know? That's unfortunate. Now, can you use garlic powder or fresh garlic? I'm going to use fresh. Then we got cumin as well. I don't know, actually it's a pretty shitty tomato with very flavorless, but it's alright. It's got juice, it's moist. We can work with moist, you know? Well, devil's advocate, we welcome you. Learn how to play a fucking fiddle though, you know? Because you lost that fiddle of gold to a boy from South Georgia. We're going to take, I think, 4 cloves of garlic. And depending on how you cut your garlic, if you grate it, if you mince it, if you slice it, will affect how much garlic you need and how to cook it. Because the more surface area the garlic is exposed, the more flavor you're going to get, but also the easier it's going to burn. Yeah, you lost that bet, you know. Now I gotta decide whether or not I want to leave the garlic in for the entire cooking process, or just for, flavor and pull out. I'm gonna leave it in, so I'm gonna slice it up here. Let's turn the heat up. We're here washing it. As long as you keep it moving, it's a little bit forgiving. There is potential to burn it. Actually, I'm not going to turn the heat up. I'm going to turn the heat down before I put the garlic in, because garlic's easy to burn, and you definitely don't want to do that. Thank you, wonderful. So what we got in there so far is carrot, onion, serrano pepper, and a Fresno pepper. And we're just softening those up. And we're going to add some more bullshit here in a minute here. So the next thing we're going to add is going to be our garlic. So just take your knife on the cutting board, lay it flat, pull it around, garlic in, stir it into the oil, vegetables, and you're going to give it I don't know, until it really starts smelling like garlic, depending on how much is touching the fry pan, how much is not touching the fry pan. We'll give it about a minute or so. You definitely don't want the garlic to burn, though. That would screw this up. Oh, well. Reverse nachos. You're vegan. I don't know if you need to go further than that, but your farts smell the worst. You look unhealthy. You look in the mirror. You lie to yourself. Probably have mental health issues. You're probably the bitch waiter from Grandma's Boy. Shiloh, I think his name was, I don't know, full day, welcome back. Garlic's in this in. Let's get your tomatoes in. You definitely do want the tomatoes to get soft. Kind of like reverse nachos wiener. Yeah, I'm listening, Like, you come in, talk shit, you better be ready for it to come back both ways and listen. Everybody here thinks you're ugly and has blue hair, reverse nachos. Yeah, carrots can take some heat, The carrots will be fine. I do want the carrots to reduce, not reduce, but release some of their sugar a little bit. So. And listen, reverse nacho. That's actually a good tip, so thank you. I got it on medium heat, not going higher than that. Did put a bunch of bullshit in there, so the pan just has to catch up a little bit. It's not gonna make a difference in that long haul. Thank you. No, I got a short-term memory. Maybe we can be friends, Nacho. TBD. But how the fuck can you be vegan and represent yourself as a nacho? Because nachos require cheese, they require some sort of meat, vegetables. And there's nothing wrong with that, Sadie girl, and I bet you're really good at both riding horses and dudes, so. But depending on how much time you have is how hot you're going to cook this. I mean, really I'm trying to soften all the vegetables up so I can make a nice little landing pad for my eggs, put a top on. Yeah, it's not like we're trying to make a marinara or anything like that. But I got the garlic in, we need some more seasoning. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to go cumin. There you go, nice healthy dose. Good helping of black pepper in there as well. And then a little bit of salt as well, a little bit more salt. And screw around with somebody with blue hair. I guess it would check an item on the bucket list, Reverse Nacho. Can you describe corn chips? But we call that a corn chip, not a nacho. It only becomes nacho when you add a bunch of bullshit on top, Reverse. But, can you describe the sexual position called a Reverse Nacho? I'm curious. Joe Montana. Yeah, you're cooler than John Alloway. But I think Sadie Girl had a good point, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. Give it a little bit of taste so you know what your seasoning profile's like. I don't think there's any debate that taste-wise, corn tortillas are far superior to flour tortillas. But the store-bought corn tortillas, they suck ass. And the flour ones stay fresh for so much longer. So usually I have flour on hand, you know. What about you, Reverse Nacho? What type of tortillas do you keep on hand? Don't tell me you got a press and make them every day. Maybe someday, Sadie Girl. I don't have any. I do not have a tortilla press. Maybe someday. Yeah, well, flour ones with preservatives last 3 months. What can I say? But yeah, if you're cooking on a little bit higher heat than you would normally, you know, if you have time waiting for your drunk friends to wake up, you can put this on low, not worry about it, simmers away. But yeah. I mean, is that burrito at that point, or is it just, you know, mushroom paste, burrito adjacent, you know? And it's not a personal thing, Reverse Nacho. I'm just really suspect of vegans because their farts smell terrible. The absolute worst. And then they try to pretend that it's not them. We know. We know. I think Montana has a point there. Now I got a little bit of tomato sauce. We're gonna help it along here in a little bit. And then we're gonna back burner it so we can make our steak, and then we'll finish it while the steak rests, you know? Oh, bullshit. You just try to make them silent, reverse nacho. I'll concede that each individual's taste profile is different, nacho. But I'm with Sadie Girl on this one. Yeah, so, you know, a little bit of tomato sauce, not much. Actually, I kind of wanted more than that. Definitely wanted more than that. Shit. Alright. Let's see what we can do with this. We're free balling. Literally and figuratively. Yeah. Human, I'll even go after the Industrial Revolution, but human history does not support that statement, Nacho. Possible Black Bean burgers suck ass. Come on. I've tried them. Not good. That's like people that, you know, say they're straight, but it was just one thing, and you know, they screwed around with somebody with the same gender, and never went back. Turns out they were just never straight. Nacho. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not for me. I'm a Sadie Girl, and I want her to ride me like she rides her horses. Da, 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 da. We could win the Preakness. That'd be fun. I don't know if it would last long enough for the Triple Crown, though. My cardio's decent, you know. After the first round. The first round would be really short, and then after that, you know, settle around. I make much better second impressions than first impressions. Alright. We're gonna go back burner this, and then we're gonna come back to it, alright? I like living in a fantasy world sometimes for a day. I mean, my default assumption of all of you are 450 pounds dudes in their parents' basement. But I like to believe, you know, maybe there's a chance that people are as they present themselves. But that's the default. Prove me wrong. Because statistically, anecdotally, I've found that to have some truth. And honestly, I haven't met very many fat horse girls. Most of them are in decent shape. A lot of gingers in that mix. And, you know, sometimes it's best if you're screwing around with a horse girl to shower before sex. You can make it sensual, you know, soap her down, she soaps you, whatever. Because otherwise she's going to smell like horse shit. But it's okay. It's okay. But I appreciate that Sadie Girl recognizes that she's a horse girl. Horse girls are crazy. But they are a fun ride. with that being said, let's take a moment to appreciate what a stud Secretariat was. That literally every horse. Well, maybe I gotta make an Instagram for these DM situations, Sadie. But let's talk a minute about how much of a stud Secretariat was. That literally every horse in the Kentucky Derby was one of his offspring. See a nacho? Fucking vegan. Let's preheat this steak. I haven't seasoned it because I didn't put it out ahead of time enough. But it's a pretty thin steak, so I think I can get away with salt and pepper either right before cooking, or you could either sprinkle it on afterwards. It's not a thick steak, so the seasoning on the outside when you chew it will be enough for the middle, you know. If you were planning ahead, you could have definitely seasoned it ahead of time. Well, apparently you don't have a fucking dictionary because couth is spelled with a C, buddy, not a K. It's like Couthe or something. I can guarantee you that's not Kooth. Whatever. Welcome back here, Nacho. I hope to see you again. We'll talk more. Okay, no E. I was close. I was closer than Nacho was, though, Danny. Alright, so here's our steak. We're gonna make sure our knife is clean. I mean, you want your steel shaft to be clean before you penetrate. But we're going to take that fat off. Not all of it, but just most of it. I'm going to get a little meat on there, that's okay. This knife needs to be sharpened. I mean, I haven't done it in about 4 or 5 years, so I would say it held its edge really well, but it needs it. But we're going to lube the pan, not with oil, not with butter. We're not going to do any fancy basting because this is a thin steak. We're just going to use beef fat to cook a beef steak in, you know? Yeah, well. What's the pirate shirt? That's the pirate shirt. Move that around, give it, oh shit. That was a little bit too aggressive. Maybe like my pickup lines on Sadie Bill. This is the pirate shirt, Sadie. So we got plenty of fat in there. The pan is significantly lubed. Lay your New York strip in away from you. We'll keep an eye on it, but it's thin enough that 2.5 minutes aside, I think we'll do it. Medium heat. Well, send pictures. We can negotiate. My house does smell like dogs because, no, it's Sadie. We can negotiate, you know. Just give me enough info to do a good background check, because last thing I actually care about, I missed some key details on the scouting report. Oh well. Tights. Definitely not my first choice, but it's flying and be like a dream for him. I don't know. I've got a mixed history with horse girls. Can't tell if you're trying to abbreviate sex or smegma versus nachos. You vegans are pretty weird. But I don't have a hoodie. We'll talk more, Saddle. I'm going to call you Sadie. High school job was mucking stables. Then there's a girl in college. And that was enough. Let's get the fat redistributed. Make sure the pan's loaded before you flip it. Got a good sear on it. On the top side, put that down. We'll cover it for a little bit. Yeah, well, thank you, Nacho. Mushroom steaks just don't do the same, but you know. If you are, as you say you are, and a professional, that's a good compliment, because I know you cook for people who are not vegan. Well, what the hell else would you, what else would SMEX mean? Not each. Yeah, I mean, everybody raves and raves about cast iron. And yes, it will hold its temperature a little bit better than stainless steel. But I don't think that outweighs the difference in weight and being able to play around with it. No, I'm going hiking with my neighbor. No date today. Got a date tomorrow afternoon if she messages me back. I mean, we agreed to go on a hike or something Sunday afternoon. I sent her the time. Hey, you know what time to pick you up? I'll pick you up at 2 or whatever. I would agree with that, Nacho. I mean, stainless steel, you're set. You're gonna know very little forgiveness. But waiting on hearing her back to confirm the time of what time I'm picking her up. So, we'll see. And she could be one of them Chinese honeypots, you know, like, kind of like the sleeper cells they warn you about, trying to get national secrets out of you. Let's go ahead. Let's check how we did. That's backside. Alright, let's go. This is just 5 minutes, alright? Feel the heat on that. Let it rest. Honestly, I think I probably overcooked this one. I like Asians, I like white girls, I like blacks, I like Europeans. I like them all. But no, this one is not Black Full Day. I mean, let's be real. People are people. You know, come on, Nachos. Just starting to like you. You know, people are people. Treat them right. Alright, nothing crazy here. Obviously, it's still warm. I'm gonna go get some water just in case. Hey. You hungry? Mix it up, just make sure the top layer is still warm. I'm supposed to be leaving here in 20 minutes, so I gotta hustle up or either offer. I am an equal opportunity lover. Women only, though. Natural born women only. Well, what do you want me to say? You're standing on the upper deck of the movie theater in the South in the 1960s? Love is love, bro. Love is love. We like Latinas, too. We're not picky. What's going on, Glenn? Welcome back. I don't know. I think horse girls are more batshit than Latinas. And greeting like they do in Italy, the Middle East, and Europe. Yeah. Just on the cheek, though. I'm not some sort of creep. Man, no, I wrestled, so things happened. Who are we kidding? Like when I go on a date and think it's a woman and then they whip out a wiener. Fortunately, I have not had that experience. You know, I had some girl who went on a date and then we were fooling around and then she's like, hey, I got something to tell you, you know, and she was like, oh, I used to be a man. That was like bullshit. I call bullshit. I don't think it was real. It's not a funny joke. Then I had to do some investigating and no, she was a woman, you know. Put the fries in the bag, yeah. The eggs cracking. Yeah, we're close to Danny. You're right. Let's make our little wells where we're going to put our eggs. I think we can do 4. Don't make a well? Why wouldn't I make a well? I did not. It was a joke. She was joking. Not a tranny. Unless she was a foreigner, so you never know. And I broke the yolk on that one. That's a bummer. That was a good crack. outside to grab something. Fresh parsley. State champ in what? Single leg takedown? Well, the real question in reverse nacho is what state. If you're going to pretend to be from Pennsylvania, I need to know. Ohio, I might respect you. I wrestled in Michigan. I'm still going to bet myself. Frittata? I don't know what a frittata is. Yeah. That's like saying that, you know, you played football at Alabama. So we're going to go 1 egg in there. 1 egg in there. This is why you make a fucking well, so they don't go everywhere. 1 egg in there. And then this one's going to go everywhere as well. 1 egg in there. Let's crank the heat up a little bit. And then we're going to add a little bit of water so it steams. And we're going to put a lid on it. No shit. I lived on the corner of Fort Duquesne and Stanwick Street. How familiar are you? Give that, fuck. What do you think, Nacho? 2 minutes? Yeah, I wrestled in Michigan. I was All-State a couple times. Hershey, PA, ain't shit out there. But there's a lot of good wrestling trolls from Pennsylvania. Best state of the country for that, hands down. But yeah, I lived in Pittsburgh and I loved it. Okay. Familiar. I get the streets confused sometimes, but pretty close. Liberty runs a while. Yeah, I live right downtown there. Go Pirates. Fuck Bob Nutty. Let's see how we did on the steak here. That'll become a dog treat. Alright, overcooked. It's medium, but I like medium rare. It'll be fine though. What can you do? Thin steaks are harder to cook than thick steaks, to be honest. My yolks are getting hard, so I gotta accelerate this mess. Power off, top off. I don't know, actually. I need to crank that up. and steam those eggs. Wiener tax, yeah. One, granddad was from the area. Two, I was working there. Uh, three, only 5 hours from my home in Michigan or whatever. Got family there. Pittsburgh's a great city. It's a sleeper. Great little big city, great big little city, depending on which way you want to go. I got nothing but positive things to say about Pittsburgh. What's wiener tax code? When I paid the wiener tax. It's doing okay out there. I got 2 wiener dogs. That's the wiener tax. Wieners, come! Dutch Hans. Yep, more or less, yeah. Now, there we go. See what we're talking about. Divide and conquer. Ooh. Off. I don't want to burn the bottom of these, and I'm afraid I have. Oh yeah, definitely the bottom's going to be crispy. What's okay. If you're into crispy, I mean, that's kind of like any ethnicity. If you're into it, it's cool. Kill the heat on that. That's all you need. And just to be douchebags, there's a little bit of color on top. I need a cutting board back, actually. Bunch it up like a pair of panties, you know. Turkey? Well, cool. You assholes on board with NATO or not? I got no beef. I'm just curious. But we're glad to have you on board, and we appreciate that you actually honor your NATO commitments, unlike a lot of other places. Istanbul, never been and want to. Panty dropper. I gotta text my neighbor. I'm gonna call it good. We made it an hour. I'm not gonna eat it in front of you. Usually I do. Well, actually I will for Daenerys, but I mean, I'm gonna have to take a text break. You might get disconnected. All right, we're back. We are back. Yeah, I can get this out of here now. Also, never fuck up and leave old grapefruit out on the counter. Hold on, I gotta text my neighbor. Hold on. Oh, well, I'm not going to comment on the neighbor's wife. That is very offensive nachos. You vegan sick fuck. Yeah, well, I'm here cooking. What the hell else are you doing, bloody boy? Your fat ass is watching me. But yeah, break that yolk out. Ooh, that one squirted a little bit. I love the raw yolk on the steak. Move that in there. You're not wrong, Daenerys. I don't think it needs it. Because you gotta remember, I mean, what's in hot sauce? Vinegar, sugar, some sort of hot pepper. In the tomato and the vegetables, you had hot peppers. The tomato's pretty acidic. So yeah, you could put hot sauce on it, but you don't need it. Yep. Yeah. We record? Oh, we're still live. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I left some fucking fruit out last night, so the fucking flies are ridiculous. But life goes on. No, they like watching me eat. You know, hot sauce would go good with that. I don't know. I don't think hot sauce is that. But we're gonna call it a day. Made an hour. Ciao, ciao. Like, come on, Sadie girl wants to see her competition. She wants to fly out here and bang me. What do you think? Should I bang Sadie girl 771?
Maybe. It's your call, buddy.
Strong maybe, Sadie. Strong maybe. See you, Danny.